Hi everybody, as you can see in this week's video I finally have snow where I live. So I've come out to do some snow photography, and along the way I will give you a few tips. So tip number one, which may sound pretty obvious, but make sure that you bring your lens hood with the camera, because obviously if you don't have the lens hood on, you're going to build up, you're going to get snow on the lens, you're going to get water on the lens. So having a lens hood on the end of the lens means it's going to stop snow getting on the camera. You're still going to need to kind of clear off the inside of the lens hood every now and again, but it's just going to make life so much easier if you keep the lens hood on. Okay, tip number two is kind of related to the first tip, and that is to always make sure you have at least one microfiber cloth with you, because despite having a lens hood on the camera, as I said, you're still going to need to clear some moisture, some snow off. So make sure you have a microfiber cloth in the bag. I generally keep two, one in my pocket for quick use and another one in my rucksack, which is going to stay a bit drier for later on during the photography. I'm just working on a shot that you can see behind me. There's a nice bridge that goes over this here, and then there's some water that you can see as well. So I'm just playing around with some different compositions here. I'm taking it from this side. I'm also going to wander around and take it from the other direction as well, trying to get something. The water is a little bit iced. There's a little bit of ice over it, so that is enabling some reflection in that. So that's what I'm looking to achieve with this shot. Yes, the nice snowy scene with the bridge, but also trying to get some reflection as well, just to add a little bit more dimension to this type of shot. Okay, tip number three is, if you're going to be using a tripod, is to keep your tripod low to the ground. I don't know if you can see that. So walk with the camera pointing down. Has two benefits close to the floor. Number one, it's going to stop the snow from hitting the lens rather than the lens hood. And number two, if for whatever reason you slip, the camera is not going to have so far to fall. Generally speaking though, I have to say I'm using a tripod today because of the video, but where possible, I try and avoid taking a tripod out for winter snow photography anyway. The exception would be sunrise or sunset, but normally you can get enough handheld. Testing my camera the other day, actually I can get down to 1/10 shutter speed and still get a reasonably sharp image. Tip number four, I think we're up to four. Make sure that not only is your battery fully charged, but make sure that you actually bring enough batteries with you. I'm sure, as you know, batteries do not perform at their peak condition in cold weather. So you will find when you're out photographing in cold weather, the number of shots you get for your battery is going to be far less. So charge them all up, as many as you got overnight. Get them fully charged, and you'll probably find that if you're out for a long enough period in the snow, in the cold weather, you're probably going to use up more battery. Well, in fact, you'll definitely use up more battery than when you're regularly out doing photography. quite a nice scene that I'm working on, which I'll just show you on the back of camera what I'm looking at. I really quite like the little stream running through, and then you've got trees on both sides, which really balances out the shot. And then you may be able to see in the background there that there is a little kind of footbridge. So what I'm really doing here, I'm back on the tripod because it's pretty dark in the woods at the moment, and just really taking a few shots on this. Obviously, popular time for people to come out and walk their dogs. So I've got a bit of a challenge there. Just need to, yeah, keep an eye out for people walking through, etc. So far, I'm managing to get a few shots. People are walking fairly quickly, so not kind of hanging around. Obviously, I could clone them out in Lightroom, but you know, if I can get a shot that's clean without needing to do that, I think it's always much better. Okay, tip number 5 is really just to make sure that you take your time. It can be really tempting when you have snow, particularly if you don't get it very often. Just kind of come out and snap everything. Just treat it like any other photography day. Look for compositions, take your time. If you've got the right clothing on, if you've got your, the kit that I talked about earlier, etc. There's no reason why you can't stay out in the snow a bit longer. Bring some snacks, etc. as well, but take your time looking for the compositions. Just a little amendment to something I said earlier. I talked about the carrying the camera low to the ground. Just be careful. I don't know whether this is something that just happens with the Nikon, but there's a little sensor just above the viewfinder, which obviously switches between screen and viewfinder. If you get that sensor wet, in the Nikon, because I've just had the same experience here, it's obviously detecting there's something there, so you'll lose the screen and you'll only be able to look through the viewfinder. So again, just take the microfiber cloth and just get a little clean, and then that will fix the problem. Yeah, so it's really great to go and do some photography in the snow. I think it's going to be hanging around for a few days, so hopefully I get more chance. As always, thank you for watching and see you next time.